is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Doctors are trained to help anyone who comes in, but they say sometimes patients won't accept them because of the color of their skin. Madison O'Neill tells us how Madison's 3 major health systems are all putting strong anti-discriminatory policies in place.
I can honestly say it has gotten worse, which is the shocking part.
Also shocking is Dr. Debbie Jones' story.
We are still dealing with racism, even in a place like a hospital.
Like when a patient admitted through SSM's emergency department a few years ago nearly refused her care.
He had this stipulation that there would be a white nurse in that room at all times when I was in there. I still remember the pain of that.
It's not just her story.
There is not a single healthcare provider that I know of personally of color who has not had this happen to them.
It's probably the worst kept secret internally within healthcare.
SSM Health Regional President Damon Boatwright says these types of situations often go unreported.
Many of our frontline workers are risking their own lives and sharing their time to take care of other patients. We feel this is the best time that we need to stand up for them.
SSM is standing with UW Health and Unity Point Health Meritor as the health systems adopt anti-discrimination policies, which won't allow patient requests for alternate caregivers based on their own bias.
I'm moved beyond words.
Dr. Jones has another story, this time from her previous practice.
He wanted me to know that he had never had a woman physician, and he had never had a physician of color.
She helped him and sent him on his way, not expecting him to ever return.
And when I left that practice, he was the first patient sitting out in a waiting room with tears in his eyes to say goodbye. He and I had grown so close over those 5 years.
It's that story Jones keeps close to her heart.
That gives me hope that we will live to see a better day.
In Madison, Madison O'Neill, News 3 Now.
SSM Health says it'll even organize a transfer for a patient refusing care because of bias as long as they're stable. They're also planning to start tracking such situations. Wisconsin has yet again seen a single-day record high for the number of COVID cases reported. 3,708 new cases recorded in just the past 24 hours. The state's lifetime total now 163,377, almost 400 more cases than our previous single-day high. More than 20% of those cases remain active, 13 more deaths. The death toll now at 1,564. Another 138 have been hospitalized. 16% of the state's hospital beds remain available. There's new evidence that having type O negative blood may have an additional benefit to being able to donate to anyone.
The data seems to show that if you are O, whether you're O positive or O negative, you may not get COVID, and you may not get COVID if you do get it as seriously. If you're A blood type or AB blood type, you appear to be a higher risk to actually get COVID, a higher risk to be needing hospitalization, and a higher risk to actually have to go onto a ventilator. And so
that is, of course, Dr. Zorba Pastor appeared on Live at 4 earlier today. He was talking about a Danish study that found among more than 470,000 people tested for COVID, only 38% with blood type O tested positive, even though 41% of us have type O blood. And a Canadian study found among 95 critically ill patients with COVID-19, a higher proportion with blood type A or AB needed ventilators compared with patients with blood groups O or B. A chilly end of the day. We could see some frost tonight. Meteorologist Gary Canalti with more on the cooler weather. Our first warn forecast.
Not only frost, but perhaps a hard freeze in some locations. And that's because skies have been generally clearer through the day. Time lapse in the WIC sky cam beginning at noon looking out toward the west shows clear skies early this afternoon. A few clouds develop, but even those were starting to thin out as we headed towards sunset. It was a beautiful sunset in the west at that, but again, those clear skies have allowed temperatures to drop off. High temperature today in Madison, 52 degrees. North of Madison, temperatures didn't even get out of the 40s. And right now, we're already down at 39 in Madison, but some locations, especially in lower lying areas like Lone Rock and Boscobel, closer to the Wisconsin River, are getting close to freezing. And by tomorrow morning, temperatures could be at or below freezing through much of southern Wisconsin. A freeze warning in effect from 1 a.m. until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for a low temperature in Madison of about 31 degrees in the city, but upper 20s are possible, especially in outlying areas away from the city. Tomorrow, look for variably cloudy skies, a slight chance for a shower. high temperature at 50 degrees. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that could also include our first flakes of snow at some point over the upcoming week or so.
Gary, thank you. An investigation is underway after one person was shot on Madison's north side. Police were sent to the area of Brentwood Parkway and Trailsway around 6 tonight for a shots fired incident involving a person with a rifle. Callers reported several cars in the area and a person who was running from the scene. A 41-year-old victim had left the scene but was later contacted at a local hospital where he has non-life-threatening injuries. Officers say the incident did not seem to be a random act. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office is searching for a man believed to be connected to a death at Devil's Lake State Park. Deputies say a 24-year-old man was found dead there yesterday morning. Sheriff Chip Meister says his department is investigating the death as a homicide. An autopsy scheduled for tomorrow. The body was found along the Grottos Trail at the park, and authorities are searching for a man in connection to the death. They describe this individual as between 5'10" and 6 feet tall, spotted wearing dark-colored head and face coverings. He was walking west on the Grottos Trail toward the South Shore parking lot. Sheriff Meister said it's unclear right now if this was a targeted incident. If anyone has any information, they're asked to call Sauk County Crime Stoppers. The tip line there, 888-847-7285. A Waterloo teenager seriously injured after taking law enforcement on a high-speed chase. That was this morning in Dane County. Deputies say they tried to stop a vehicle that was going more than 30 miles an hour over the speed limit on Vilas Road. This is in the town of Cottage Grove this morning. Officials say the vehicle continued to speed and then rear-ended a truck on Sprecher Road in Madison. The 16-year-old driver sustained a serious injury, was taken to the hospital. The driver of the truck had minor injuries. Deputies say that car was stolen from Madison earlier this month. The teenage driver could now face multiple charges. A 46-year-old Madison man was arrested for second-degree sexual assault. Officers say a homeless woman who was intoxicated had tried to sleep outside of a building on the Capitol Square when Mario Salazar approached her. They say a Madison Metro driver who was parked nearby called his dispatcher after seeing the man touch the victim. When police arrived, the report said Salazar was found lying next to the partially undressed woman. He said he did not know the woman, but claimed he walked over to assist her. A 14th defendant, an area man, is now facing charges in a plot to kidnap Michigan's governor. 51-year-old Brian Higgins from Wisconsin Dells has been charged with material support for an act of terrorism. The FBI says a group of men planned to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer from her vacation home. Their plot involved forcing her onto a boat and then taking her across Lake Michigan to Wisconsin. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel says the investigation is not over.
There has been an additional person charged, so that's now 8 individuals that the state has charged, and of course 6 that the feds have charged. I can't give you more information, but I can tell you that our investigation is ongoing.
Now, the group of suspects reportedly hoped the kidnapping would instigate a civil war. Higgins could face up to 20 years in jail if he's convicted of the felony. The presidential candidates competed for viewers, each holding town hall events at the same time on different networks tonight. Instead of sparring on a debate stage, presidential candidates battled each other through dueling appearances. President Trump in Miami, Joe Biden in Philadelphia. Unlike a formal debate, tonight's events allowed voters to ask the questions about topics like health care.
The problem with Obamacare, it's not good. We'd like to terminate it.
I think that also health care overall is very much in jeopardy as a consequence of the president's going to go directly after this election, directly to the Supreme Court within a month.
And the final presidential debate is scheduled for next Thursday. That'll be in Nashville. President Trump can't afford to lose many Wisconsin counties that he won in 2016 if he's going to win the state again. But some groups think Joe Biden has a good chance to steal back some votes that then candidate Trump himself flipped 4 years ago. Amy Reed explains.
The poll that we're going to talk about today is really fresh.
With just weeks until the election, these 2 Iowans are hoping their view of rural America is the right one.
Rural voters are understanding right now that Donald Trump has broken promises, and that frustration is being felt and reflected in the surge that we are seeing in the heartland for candidates, including Joe Biden.
3 years ago, Patty Judge and Jeff Link started Focus on Rural America, a progressive PAC aimed at engaging with the rural working class and building support for progressive economic policies. They think this is the issue driving rural votes.
The one single driver of elections in rural America, probably in America, but at least in rural America, is a good job.
We're bringing the jobs back.
This is also an issue on which Donald Trump thinks he can win. It's been the focus of his re-election campaign, touting the growth in sectors like manufacturing.
We created 15,000 Wisconsin manufacturing jobs. Everybody said that would be impossible.
In Wisconsin, manufacturing jobs did increase more than 15,000 before the pandemic, but now we're down with nearly 10,000 fewer jobs in manufacturing than when Trump started. The industry has also faced a tough blow when it comes to trade.
It's been pretty depressing for most trade economists to see the way that the administration has gone about conducting trade policy.
Ian Coxhead is a professor of ag and applied economics at UW-Madison. He told me the Trump administration's approach to trade hurt manufacturing and agriculture revenues and profits. But deals like the USMCA and the Phase 1 agreement with China did help some.
Both of which benefit U.S. producers somewhat. But I think, again, in a big picture, what they're really doing is, particularly the USMCA, is giving back to U.S. producers and exporters what they lost when the U.S. walked away from the Trans-Pacific Partnership back in 2017.
That's the part he thinks will hurt long term as countries make other plans or question the reliability of the U.S. as a partner.
In terms of farm and corporate revenues and profits, we're back in balance. In terms of where we are relative to long-run trade relationships and prospects for trade growth, we're not as well off as we were 4 years ago.
On Rural thinks this and the pandemic could drive people in rural areas to vote for someone else. Their poll of likely voters in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin does show Biden ahead. But in 2016, Trump won some of these counties in northern Wisconsin by big margins, and Scott Walker won big there too in 2018. In less than 3 weeks, we'll see if the trend continues for 2020.
Amy Reed reporting only about 180 poll workers out of roughly 30,000 are still needed to staff polling places in Wisconsin on Election Day. That's despite the surge in coronavirus cases in Wisconsin. The State Elections Commission reporting shortages in 51 municipalities now. Now that's up from just 13 the day before. Wisconsin elections officials, though, say that number will likely change through Election Day, but they say the small number of workers still needed shows that election officials are properly staffed.
It's not enough for clerks to just have enough poll workers. They also need a backup pool of people that they can call upon in the event of an emergency, in the event that somebody is ill or unable to serve on Election Day. They need to have a pool of people they could call in those emergencies to serve as well.
You can head to myvote.wi.gov, click on Become a Poll Worker to help out those municipalities that still need poll workers. Wolf says more than 19,000 Wisconsin voters registered online yesterday. More than 77,000 voters have registered to vote since the beginning of the month. Currently, more than 3.6 million Wisconsinites are registered to vote. People gathered in Wauwatosa today for a rally for justice for the 3 people killed by Officer Joseph Mensah. That event was organized by rapper Jay-Z's Social Justice Group, along with other groups that support firing Officer Mensah. Last week, prosecutors said they would not file charges against Mensah in the shooting death of Alvin Cole in February. Today, social justice groups say we still have a lot of work to do.
The oppression of black and brown people is not performance art. This is not a drill. We are here because we got work to do. We have business to take care of. And you're not going to keep murdering our people and this be business as usual.
During the rally, attorneys for the men fatally shot by Mensah said they are filing a civil rights action lawsuit. Ahead on News 3 Now at 10, the latest from Capitol Hill as Democrats try to slow the likely confirmation of the next Supreme Court justice. Stay with us.
Get the lowest prices of the season at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Find a huge selection of clearance and floor sample appliances at savings the competition can't match. Plus, no interest financing for up to 18 months and quick delivery on in-stock items. Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider. They do? Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
Wow, really?
Really? Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
Joe Biden will make health care affordable. His plan gives a tax credit to help working families pay insurance premiums, lowers prescription costs by 60%, and protects coverage for pre-existing conditions. No matter what, he'll pay for it by getting rid of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the super rich. Because Joe knows our economy's strength doesn't come from the top. It comes from working families. And that's who he's fighting for every day.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Your family has a wide range of personalities. And so does ours. With Volkswagen's wide range of SUVs, you can all ride together. Or not. Click, call, or come by your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing for 60 months on 2020 Atlas Cross Sport models.
It's the Quick Ship Mattress Sale of the Season at Ashley Home Store. Get your best night's sleep faster than any other store in Wisconsin and find unbeatable doorbusters like these. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 6 years while they last at Ashley Home Store.
Friday morning, Hattie's looking ahead to a chilly weekend in her First Warn forecast.
And we're previewing a big weekend of political visits with the president and members of the Biden campaign making stops in our area. We'll see you tomorrow on News 3 Now This Morning.
The Senate Judiciary Committee has set aside next Thursday to vote on whether to recommend approval of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the United States Supreme Court. Democrats used their time on this final day of Barrett's hearing to plead for more Republicans to not confirm the U.S. Court of Appeals judge when the vote goes to the full Senate floor, or at least delay the process, while Republicans countered.
Not being able to answer whether you believe in the peaceful transfer of power, I just found that stunning.
What was the purpose of this hearing if we've reached the point now where we really don't know what she thinks about any issues?
We've got the authority to do this. We've got historical precedent on our side. And we've also got the Constitution and the best nominee I've seen in a long time.
Now, despite the push to stall from Democrats, the Judiciary Committee voted along party lines to move ahead with Judge Barrett's confirmation before members heard from all of the witnesses. Republican lawmakers are unified in their effort to have her confirmed before Election Day. A 41-foot boat with 21 people on board caught fire. This was on the Intercoastal in Fort Lauderdale this afternoon. 13 of those on board were injured, 2 critically. At least 6 people were taken to the hospital. Officials say all of the people jumped into the water. People on board say they were shooting a music video prior to that fire. Police are still investigating what happened. The Cameron Peak fire is now the largest wildfire in Colorado history. That fire made another big run. It has burned over 164,000 acres with 56% containment as of this morning. It has now surpassed another 2020 fire, the Pine Gulch fire, for the largest in state history. The Pine Gulch fire near Grand Junction reached 139,007 acres. Chilly weather heading our way as we look to the weekend. Some of it may be already coming. As Gary looks at that radar, there's some of that light blue stuff on your radar. I'm not too crazy about that.
Well, fortunately, what you see north of Madison, this is not reaching the ground. This is all aloft. These snow showers are, but, you know, this is the middle part of October. It's about that time where we could start seeing some flakes of snow. That's about on average. But we have freeze warnings in effect for all of southern Wisconsin, as well as much of the central Midwest, for the potential for temperatures that could drop into the upper 20s and low 30s. See a widespread frost and a hard freeze. So 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Well, we've got frost and freeze conditions possible, not only for tonight, but also for tomorrow night before temperatures start rising later on tomorrow night as clouds move in. That will set up a windy and milder day on Saturday with some scattered showers, but as a cold front comes through Saturday night, we could see those showers mixed with a few flakes of snow late Saturday night or early on Sunday morning. And we'll see below normal temperatures for most of next week with some shower chances early in the week and temperatures at night getting close to freezing freezing means the possibility there could be a few flurries mixed in with the rain showers. Have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow morning for that widespread frost freeze. Here in Madison, I'm looking for a low temperature of about 31 degrees, but again, the Madison city temperature tends to be a little bit warmer than areas outside the city that either are more low-lying areas or away from the city, because the city kind of retains heat from the concrete and the asphalt. So temperatures will probably drop into the upper 20s in rural Dane County, and outside of Madison almost certainly will be in the upper 20s. High temperatures today only made it into the 40s in northern and central Wisconsin, lower 50s here in the southern part of the state. Weather track shows that west-northwesterly wind flow, but that even starts shifting to a more northwesterly direction, and that'll bring in even chillier weather as we head into the early part of next week. Much of the central part of the country will see cooler weather with a warm-up on the west coast as the jet stream starts to push northward. Usually when we see that happen, that means the jet stream will buckle, and we start to see the colder air move into the nation's midsection. We've got one cold front that's already pushed well to our south and east. A little trough of low pressure could bring us a shower chance during the day tomorrow, but right now, other than a couple of flurries up toward Lake Superior, not producing really any precipitation reaching the ground. Temperatures are already in the 30s through much of Wisconsin. La Crosse at 45. They got a little patch of cloud cover there, but Madison already down to 39 degrees. And on future track, we'll look for skies to remain mostly clear overnight. Tomorrow, we'll see variably cloudy skies, perhaps a shower in the afternoon. Then as we head into tomorrow night, more clouds start coming in, so the temperatures actually start rising overnight. We'll see some shower chances on Saturday, but then Saturday night, as those showers move through, it's possible there could be a couple of flurries of snow mix in before that comes to an end early on Sunday morning. Farther out into the future, we're looking at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, calling for below normal temperatures and above normal precipitation, but the monthly outlook for November calls for above normal temperatures through much of the country and below normal precipitation through the southern part of the country. So we should start to see a pattern shift further on down the line. Freeze warning in effect 1 a.m. till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for a high tomorrow of 50 degrees with variably cloudy skies, perhaps a slight chance of a shower. Otherwise, look for a warm up on Saturday, high 59. It'll be windy with some showers. Then again, the possibility for a couple of flurries Saturday night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some shower chances. At night, a possibility for a couple of flurries. Then maybe some thunderstorms on Thursday with a brief warm up, and then another shot of cold air as we head toward next weekend. So like I said last night, you know, we see those mild conditions come in for a day or two, but then the colder weather sticks around for 3 or 4 or 5 days. So we're kind of on the losing end of things now.
I'm trying to look ahead to next Friday because that's football weather at Camp Randall Stadium a week from Friday. Maybe 50 degrees. That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah,
no, it's a ways out.
But it's a night game too, isn't
right,
it? Yeah,
right.
So it'll be chilly.
No fans. You don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
Bundle up. Gary, thank you. Just ahead in sports, Jack Sanborn. He's back for another year on the Badger defense. How his duties at inside linebacker go well beyond the field for the Cardinal and White. Zach's next with sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Great day on the lake.
It is.
Lunch is cooking. And I saved a bunch of money on my boat insurance with Geico.
Are you?
Fellas, can it get any better than this? Whoa. My old hairstyle grew back.
So did mine.
What? I was an 80s kid.
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
It's Steinhaffel's 86th anniversary, and we're celebrating with 35% off store-wide, plus an extra $86 off every $7.99 you spend. Your choice sofa or bed only $3.99 each. Get ready for the holidays with this dining room set, now only $9.99. Take an extra 5% off all Canadel dining sets, both in stock and custom order. And use Steinhaffel's no money down 60-month special financing. So shop Steinhaffel's and celebrate with our family during our 86th anniversary sale.
For over 60 years, wishes have come true at Blaine's Farm and Fleet's original Toyland. This year, Toyland deals will last all weekend long, starting this Saturday at 7 a.m. Find great deals on the hottest toys like Hot Wheels, Barbies, Melissa and Doug, and more. Plus, shop super weekend deals throughout the store. Large jugs of Era laundry detergent just $5.99. And rewards members get a free $10 gift card for every $100 spent on Yeti products. Wishes do come true at Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland, starting this Saturday.
We took a bad economy that was falling and turned it around. Trump took a good economy and drove it back into the ditch through his failure to get COVID under control, his failure to deliver real relief to working people. Does he not understand and see the tens of millions of people who've had to file for unemployment this year so far? The people who lost wages while the cost of groceries have gone up dramatically? Donald Trump has been almost singularly focused on the stock market, the Dow and NASDAQ. Not you, not your families. My plan will help create at least 5 million new, good-paying jobs and create them right here in the United States of America. Let's use this opportunity to take bold investments in American industry and innovation so that the future is made in America. I'll be laser focused on working families. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Jim Leonard said having Jack Sanborn back was, quote, priceless. The Badger inside linebacker is coming off a pretty solid sophomore season, but now that he's a year older, Sanborn's role is changing. As the guy, he can no longer just do his job. Sanborn is expected to be a playmaker on the field for the Wisconsin defense and help bring along the younger guys off of it, just like the older guys did to him.
He's got to be a leader. He's got to be a voice. He's got to show confidence out there, you know, and I think he's doing that right now. You know, he's pushing other guys, he's pushing himself, he's being a good example.
Last year I got a lot of reps, and with that comes a lot of experience as well. So I've been in those big game situations, and just guys can come up to me, ask me questions, and I can really help guys come along.
Speaking of linebackers, before Jonathan Casillas was a starter on defense, he was making plays on special teams. 15 years ago on this date, Casillas came up big time. The Badgers down 3 with 35 seconds to play. He blocked the gopher punt. Ben Strickland fell on it in the end zone, and the Badgers brought the axe back home to Madison. Now, the Packer offense will look to stay as hot as the temperature down in Tampa when they face the Buccaneers on Sunday. Now, the green and gold have done just about everything they've wanted to opposing defenses in their first 4 games. But this week might be a different story, or at least a good measuring stick for Matt LaFleur.
It's rare that you see a defense that does such a nice job not giving up the big play and be able to be as aggressive and stuff the run as they do. So I just think it's going to be a great challenge, a great test to see where we are as an offense.
Usually by the first couple of days of practice, there's a schedule of some sort out. But this isn't your typical basketball season. The full slate of games have yet to be figured out. So for now, the Badgers will still go about their practices focusing on themselves so that they're ready for whoever and wherever they'll play on November 25th.
The only thing we know about November 25th is that the first day we can officially play. Other than that, who, if, what, you play a lot of what if, you know, and you're constantly measuring risk versus reward. As you build a schedule, as you look at what scheduling can be, you know, so right now we have a lot more questions than answers.
And that's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Got the lowest prices of the season now at Ashley Home Store. Clearance and floor sample furniture is 50% off or more. Plus, take a bonus 5% off our sale prices, including clearance. And interest-free financing for up to 4 years. Only at Ashley Home Store.
What would Joe Biden's plan do for you? Biden's plan is a 14% tax hike on middle-class families. 82% of Americans would pay more. And Biden's plan gives illegal immigrants amnesty and health care. Joe Biden's a career politician who spent decades raising taxes. Come on, man. So what would the Biden plan do for you? Raise your taxes. That's it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. Book a free consultation to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
We aren't radical, so why would we want one representing us in Madison? Chris Marion is an extreme partisan liberal who's just fine with calling political opponents Nazis, dictators, and enemies. And Chris Marion wants to take more of your paycheck, too. Marion supports eliminating levy limits, causing property taxes to skyrocket, crushing families as they try to recover. And Marion backs the radical Green New Deal that will cost trillions, destroy jobs, and increase taxes. Chris Marion, just too radical.
Every 4 years you hear, this is the most important election of our lifetime, and you shrug. But this year, it feels true, doesn't it? Now it feels important to get ready to vote. Registering, the right ID, getting your ballot, and making it count. Start by calling the voter helpline, 608-285-2141 for help getting ready to vote, or text Help Me Vote. It's free, it's not affiliated with any party, and you will be heard. Call today and be heard. Get ready and vote.
A service of the Voter ID Coalition with support from Dane County.
Hey, Dutch boy, show me Mocha Red.
Okay.
Does it have a smooth, durable finish?
Yes, and it's 50% more stain resistant.
Still talking to Dutch boy? Dutch boy, show me Sleepy Purple.
Okay.
Oh, would you look at that? That's better.
He'll still help us paint, right?
With Dutch Boy's quality paint and Menards expert service, you can twist off to something great.
Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Dutch Boy paint.
Hey, it's Shackleford.
Did you say Shackleford?
Yeah, they replaced my old furnace with a new carrier furnace. You know, turn to the experts.
Oh, Shackleford. They fixed my furnace with no surprises.
Did someone say Shackleford?
Shackleford. Book your fall maintenance check today.
It's the Quick Ship Mattress Sale of the Season at Ashley Home Store. Get your best night's sleep faster than any other store in Wisconsin and find unbeatable doorbusters like these. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 6 years while they last at Ashley Home Store.
Go to Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
And Gary's back. He's got one final check of what we could be dealing with overnight with these freezing temps.
Yeah, temperatures are already close to freezing in some areas, down to 29 in Wautoma already. Madison's at 39 degrees. Look for a high temperature of 50 for tomorrow with a shower chance, and then colder weather, especially for next week. Maybe some flurries of snow late at night.
All right, Gary, thanks. And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. Have a good night. Take care.